inappropriate.
It's like, is this black enough for you? I don't know. You like something in black.
You fucked her eye so good she cried cum. That's so
Listen, yeah, nut come out her other good eye. Then I might gotta slap her. I'm sorry. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So fucking inappropriate.
It is so big.
Then I put his head right under my balls. He's gonna jump. I'm gonna flip him up to where his dick is right here in my face.
So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate. So fucking inappropriate.
All right, everybody, and welcome to a weird part of the internet you really probably haven't realized you found yet. That's right. Here's a disclaimer right up front. We say naughty things. You have found the Inappropriates Podcast. It's the only podcast that's going to cover those top 10 lists that you didn't know you really needed and do the Mary Fuck skill for people you probably didn't know we wanted to do any of that too. Right now, here's your host, Matt and Nate.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Inappropriates. Before we get started, throw it to you, Matthew. Vinnie Mac's untraceable testicle injection anabolic steroids.
Oh my God, dude. I'm supposed to come up with this shit spur of the moment, and I'm talking about testicle injected steroids. I love it. Okay, fine.
Untraceable.
Fine.
Vinnie Mac's.
Folks, are you looking for that edge to get you right up to the top for that championship belt, but you don't quite have the physique everyone's looking for? Well, I'm here to promote the next big thing in the swole universe. That's right. We're talking about Vinnie Mac's undetectable, testicle injectable, anabolic steroid. That's right. Have you ever woke up one day and went, I need to be a little bit bigger and I kind of want to have the balls of a hamster, but the muscle of a horse? Well, we've got the answer for you. That's Vinnie Mac's undetectable, testicle injectable. Why the fuck does this rhyme? Anabolic steroids. And right now, if you order, it's going to come straight to you right out of Tijuana. That's right. Where you went for your bachelor party to see that donkey show. The fine people down there in the back room of that show are making this anabolic steroid for you. And if you use our promo code TIP, that's all you're going to have left of your penis. All right, that's it, folks. Today's sponsor is brought to you by Vinnie Mac's undetectable and testicle injectable antibiotic steroids. How did I not fuck that up as many times as I said it? I don't know.
That was amazing. I love it. All right.
I am in all, sir.
My favorite part of the episode every time. Okay.
It's now becoming my most dreaded part of the episode because I don't know what the fuck I'm going to have to say at this point.
Sneaking suspicion, that's what makes it part of your favorite, at least a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. If you don't already know, that is the voice of our guest once again returning, Christopher Pieper, the author of Those That Remain.
Hello, hello.
The double feature.
Thank you for joining us once again.
Or in light of the last episode, the double creature feature.
Before we get started on this one, before I even say what the topic is, though, let's go ahead and play that beautiful card game. Hold up those three pictures. If you would like me to hold one of them, I can. And again, if you need an explanation for any of these, I'll give it. You've got Golden Gate Bridging, the Eiffel Tower, and the Glory Hole.
I feel like on two of those I can kind of hazard a guess, so I'm going to go with the one that I have no clue on, and that's the Golden Gate Bridging.
The Golden Gate Bridging, which is number 3.
Okay, no, so before I turn it, what is Golden Gate Bridging?
I'm so happy that you asked.
Oh, my God.
So, on season 1 episode, you'll eventually get to it if you listen to the podcast, we were talking about me fingering Jessica Biel while jerking off Justin Timberlake, sitting crisscross applesauce, and they're standing above each other, or standing above me, looking each other in the eyes, holding hands, creating the Golden Gate Bridge. So that is Golden Gate Bridging. Can't even do it. There we go.
You ask, good sir. You ask.
Okay.
Now you know when your mom as a kid told you some questions just needed to be let be. You now have come to the explanation. His poor wife sitting there half traumatized, like she's staring at the ceiling like, what the fuck?
What am I doing?
Like,
So with that explanation,
You now have to do it. No, I'm just kidding.
what is my fetish that no one would ever guess?
now it's Golden Gate Bridging. Oh God, the mental visuals.
I'm not even sure how to tie those two together for the sake of the game.
The absolutely disappointing look from the other person in the room right now is absolutely it's the MasterCard priceless commercial moment. It's she just like it's
So given my first episode's thing, I can't really say
it's not a porn search.
there's no such thing as a fetish. I mean,
This is my second favorite part of the episode. just
Okay,
so
you do know what a fetish is. It's not the white cheese on Greek food, right? That's feta.
this is the male version of feta.
It's fetish.
Lord.
Why did I just get a weird, fucked up, like, mental scene of someone at a freaking Italian restaurant who doesn't know how to pronounce words? Would you like some fetish cheese? Whoa. I have a question about your menu.
He's thinking hard about this.
What's the thing in this kind of industry? 10 seconds of dead airtime is the death of the show, the guest, the speaker, while he's trying to
thought-provoking silence.
just spew random words for a few minutes until something comes into his.
I'm getting a SpongeBob segue of 3 hours later.
I'm a self-proclaimed foodie.
Okay.
So we've never done with food.
Is it
Anything?
chocolate sauce
Okay.
or gravy? I've got to know now.
But have you? So there you go, chocolate sauce. Yeah, we talked about that last time. So let's say Jessica Biel and Justin Bieber.
You don't have to involve them, but you're wanting to.
But can I?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's your fetish, man.
I can't think of anything else that would make this less uncomfortable than.
So
go
we
with-
have Jessica
Mission
Biel,
accomplished.
the molested girl from Seventh Heaven, and Justin Bieber, the Diddy fucking victim. Where's this going? Tell us a story.
I'll sit the Indian style between them, and so I'm jerking off Justin Bieber with a handful of honey,
Okay.
and I'm fingering Jessica Biel with a banana. I mean, that might be boring for the sake of the show, but
No,
that's what I
that's-
got. Honey and bananas go together.
I want to say it's going to end up being unique. It's all right.
Matt, save this segment.
It,
Please save it.
It has Dusty Buckeye vibes. I'm not even gonna lie. And for if you don't know what that is, I'm not sure. I really want you know what a Dusty Buckeye is.
The weird. No, I don't. But the weird thing is,
You don't?
The bad thing is
And you know,
that
and you went with that for a fetish.
I don't know, but I didn't invent the Golden Gate Bridge either.
Okay, well, the Dusty Buckeye is actually worse. So the Dusty Buckeye is where you slather your member in peanut butter, and then you insert it in door number 2.
It's the Dusty. Okay.
And then the Buckeye is chocolate covered peanut butter. to which your partner enjoys the aftermath when it's over.
Is it too late to decline the invite to come onto this show?
today's topic.
Has nothing to do with Buckeyes or Golden Gate Bridges.
Thank God.
There's nothing like watching your podcast go completely off the rails in the first 3 minutes. Thank you for listening. Have a week.
For what it's worth, I would hope any Golden Gate Bridge that I am a part of lasts 3 minutes or less.
That is a very specific time period, my friend. That's
Well, you know what they say.
I've got things to do. I've got 3 minutes over here. Let's get this done.
What? No, it's wild clover.
It's wild clover.
Top 10 things you would go back and change in wrestling history. That's the topic.
And it's not hand-churned honey. So anyway, all right, we've got to get off of this.
Yes.
Got to get off of this train that's already wrecked, and we're just still sitting on the burning caboose. All right, so top 10 events we would change in wrestling history.
Not necessarily events, just things, period. That's the way I approached it.
All right, fine.
But go ahead. You this is one that you were, I think, pretty psyched about. So we are all wrestling fans, as we were previously talking about.
Very much.
So I've never been. I guess WWE has probably been one of the most watched brands that I've seen over the years. My grandmother on my mom's side, massive wrestling fan. I remember sitting in our house as a child on Saturday mornings because there was no Monday Night Raw, there was no Thursday Night SmackDown that ended up being Friday Night SmackDown. The Saturday night main event was the pay-per-view back in the day, and it wasn't watching the WWF, which it's lost a couple W's and removed the F.
Yeah, they got the F out.
Yeah, they got the F out. And it was watching AWA wrestling on Saturday mornings, man. I'm talking some of the old school stuff. So that's kind of the era that I semi grew up in. Later on would watch it, as a little bit older, would watch it with my aunt and uncle, which probably my first wrestler that I could consistently say was one of my favorites growing up was Jake the Snake Roberts, man. So we're going back a little bit in this. Oddly enough, Jake the Snake, at the end of his career, had a match with a young debuting Dwayne Johnson, and their paths really never crossed much again after that, but it's kind of cool to see that he was in the ring for the debut of another guy who came to be the legendary entertainer that he was. So a lot of things on my list are going to transcend history. It's going to branch into a lot of smaller organizations that are no longer here, and some factions that I just kind of think got overplayed and ran through, and a few things like that. But yeah, it's a list I'm going to really enjoy doing because I love watching wrestling on the professional level or the entertainment level, because there's stories there, and there's guys who have commitment to do this, 200 to 300 nights a year. That's absolutely insane. So number 10 for me, we're going to go ahead and just peel that history book line off. I'm talking, if I go back and change something, I would have changed the death of Bruiser Brody down in Puerto Rico. Guy was a phenomenal entertainer. Known for a lot of his in-ring skill was known as stiff. He was rather brutal, but he was fan-loved worldwide by traveling territories. When there was no TV, there was no worldwide audience for that. And people knew who Bruiser Brody was. And listening to a lot of interviews with guys like Tony Atlas, and who was actually there the night he was killed.
Close friend.
And, knowing more about the guy behind Bruiser Brody, the picture of him laying on his couch with his son, who's holding one of those, early run Game Boys, just playing Nintendo. A lot of people tie what they see to these guys strictly to their in-ring persona, and he was just another guy trying to make money for his family. And just a career cut super, super short, because I think I think had he been able to have bought into a wrestling promotion, had he been able to have transitioned out of the ring into a promoter, I think we could have seen talent, and we could have seen a whole different landscape of wrestling at that point. But the death of Bruiser Brody, man, is my number 10.
So if you could change something about the history, would you say you would not book him on that show, or you would not just straight up not have the person there that killed him? What would you change about it?
There was a
Just-
lot of things that happened that day
Yeah.
that, you know, he ended up having to walk to the arena because the ride that was supposed to take him there didn't show up. There was a lot of warning signs that he just did not pay attention to because he was really trying to, you know, make something happen. And, you know, if anything, maybe change the outcome of Atlas letting him walk into that shower room alone. You know, just because when you think about wrestlers, they already don't have super long lifespans anyway, just due from what they do and the steroids that they end up taking and everything they put their body through. There's no reason to cut it massively short because of a disagreement.
Fair enough.
I don't know if Lex Luger has ever divulged, but you know, with, specifically with Bruiser Brody, that match that he had with him in a cage, and he just stopped participating in the match. Like Luger's like just laying in everything, you know, looks stiff, looks good, and he's just standing in the corner like not, he's not even reacting. And Luger's like, you know, when shit got real in the ring with you know, in that era especially, it was, is he mad at me? Am I about to get my ass handed to me, you know, in front of a live crowd? And I don't really think he's ever, you know, divulged what the problem was. You know, he said he didn't come back and tell him.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm fine.
I mean, and the era of wrestling back then was so different. Like kayfabe, protecting the business was a huge, huge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the rivalry between like Andy Kaufman and Larry the King Lawler back in the Memphis days. Holy shit, that was like national news. Like they literally thought these guys were trying to kill each other. I mean, it was a joke. Kaufman's laughing. Lawler's getting death threats. And Andy Kaufman's just sitting in his house laughing about it. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. He's like, look, dude, I'm starting to be afraid to go outside and shit. So
Were they on like Johnny Carson together or something?
Yeah.
Together. And
Lawler slapped him while he had a neck brace on, and he laid there until the ambulance came. Like, that's like $200. Get up. He's like, I'll pay it. Just bring the ambulance in. Let's make this look great. They said even to his deathbed, his family thought there was actually real like hate and beef between the two of them. Like all the way, he carried that clean to his deathbed, man. That's insane.
All right. Well, that brings me, to my number 10. This is the only one that would be considered a cop-out, I guess. But I couldn't leave it off the list. We were both aspiring wrestling professional wrestlers at one point in time. It didn't pan out for us, obviously, as you see us sitting here in the recording studio.
yeah,
But
talking about
exactly. But if I could change something, it would be that I got the proper training and pursued a wrestling career.
That is fair.
Because I really wanted to do it at one point in time. So
I share a story myself that's nowhere not that elevated. You guys made it to the big time a lot closer than I did. I had a friend.
I got stopped by a medical team in the beginning, so I made it so much farther than the big time.
This is gonna sound like my cousins, brothers, uncles, whatever. But you know, I had a friend growing up who was dating a girl who was like, I think the correct term is a ring rat for ECW when they were kind of just getting started.
He would set up and tear down the ring gear. Yeah.
That and would actually accompany, you know, the male performers to the ring. You know, it wasn't anybody that you saw on TV. It was, you know, kind of like their tryout version. You know, independent shows around like Philadelphia, or like this might have been based in Louisville. But she was actively coming up to this neck of the woods to recruit people to come down to, I don't know about learn the craft or just be jobbers and get thrown through tables or whatever, but I was this close to taking her up on it and going down and checking it out until she said, you know, one of the things I do is I help the guys pick thumbtacks out of their balls after the match. Okay, never mind. I don't really want to do this. So that was as close as I ever got. I'll watch on TV.
I'll put a steroid in my ball sack, but not a thumbtack,
Not a
goddammit.
thumbtack, no.
Once again, brought to you by Vinnie Max. Side effects do include pain.
what is number 10 on your list, Piper?
So I did my list, you know, kind of similarly, but you know, I liked that we were going to come together with this thing and again not kind of talk about things and go. So there's some fantasy booking stuff, there's some sentimental stuff, and there's just some things that hey, you know what, maybe this could have been done away with, and that's where my 10 lies. If you hear Bret Hart talk, like nowadays, he always kind of comes off pretentious, kind of whiny, but there's one thing that he says that I agree with, and that's chop fests. If there was one thing that I could change about wrestling now, and it would be, I wouldn't go so far as to say I would go back and say, Ric Flair, you can't do that. He did it as a spot, back in the 80s and whatnot. And that just spawned the whole, let's just stand across the ring from each other, slap the shit out of our chests until we're bloody while the crowd goes woo. And that just doesn't do anything for me. Now, you might not like this, but the one thing that I go back to, why is this on my list, is the Jericho and Ishii match in AEW. You have to know the one I'm talking about.
I do. As soon as you said it.
Picture
like that?
No. It's in picture, and the whole time throughout the entire commercial break, they're just standing there, just back and forth.
The crowd was crazy for it, though.
I'm sure it was a great live interaction thing, but I couldn't. It just got hard to watch after a while.
Fair enough. On TV, I agree.
Chops is one of those things where not every wrestler can do it right, and it needs to have a place. But I agree, it doesn't need to be in every match. It doesn't need to be extended. So
yeah.
Like it being Ric Flair's thing, right? That's cool. Big Show. He lay those one big chops straight down, and it meant something when Big Show delivered it.
Mm-hmm.
It pandered to the crowd when Ric Flair delivered it, right? But no one gave a fuck if Stone Cold did it.
Right. No.
It really, there, in my opinion, there's a fine line of, can it go on too long? Or does it actually add to a match? And that's kind of where I think I kind of understand what Brett's saying. But no, I wouldn't want to stand there and just get chopped and I can only imagine that would suck. Just because I've seen that go on in a match, and it's just this blistered raspberry across the front of them, and that's what it's designed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot more different ways. I would rather see guys stand and just swap punch back and forth, because there's a little more playoff you can do with that, in my opinion, than you could do with just chops. Obviously, this guy right here just wants to see some blistered welts. I don't know.
I'm going to go back to the Jericho Ishii thing in a second, but I got to address that now. To continuously get punched in the face is not believable. To continuously get slapped is. Like, if me and you were just to go back and forth, hold on. If me and you were just to go back and forth right now, just fucking punch, like literally punching each other, one of us are going to drop after a couple. Slapping, we could go all fucking day until we're just tired.
But yes, that's the thing. It's more dynamic. There's kind of a time set on how far the punching, the back and forth, like the punches or the arm hits that they do. Whereas the chops, you could go on for 5-10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
the point.
Or all the way through a commercial break.
That brings me back to the Ishii Jericho thing. So, are you familiar with New Japan Wrestling and strong style?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so that's what that was based off of.
Yeah.
Is Ishii strong style? He can take 1,000 chops. Jericho, not from that. So that's why there was that whole build-up, and that's why the fans went wild, because Jericho was hanging in with Ishii doing that. So, again, watching it live on television, especially if you're already not a fan of it, you're going to lose interest. But being live in that crowd when that happened, insane. So, but I understand. I get you. We're going to disagree so much on this podcast. Matthew.
you're good.
No, it's your turn.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the
We've
chop
already
fest-
circled back around.
the chop
I'm not
fest
used
was
to
him.
starting it. I'm
got
not
you.
used to being the first one to start. All right, so my second one is something that I loved and it annoyed me all at the same time. And that comes down to factions. Factions can be done very well, or they can be overplayed. And unfortunately, I think this one was overplayed because it was branched on way too many times. And I think it watered down the let's just say, watered down the product and the brand of what they were in. But I'm going back to WCW, and I'm talking about the 5 different factions of NWO. You had the outsiders that came in. They built that. You had the Hogan heel turn. You had something there. And then the answer to that was the Sting. But why Sting had to go Wolfpack, red and black? Why did you have the Latinos that added to NWO? Why did you have and where
ECW had the Blue World Order.
the Blue World Order. It was just, it's something that had the potential to be huge. They watered it down in WCW. It bled over into things like ECW, which I understand ECW was still trying to maintain a relevance at that point because ECW was trying to build at the same time, balance a razor's edge of staying relevant, which really sucks. But when you talk about the fall of WCW, especially after the Monday Night Wars, it really started dropping off because it ended up being just one big NWO fucking show. It really kind of stopped being, and now it was like gang war faction on there every time, and because you had Latino World Order, had Eddie Guerrero, you had Chavez, you had Rey Mysterio, who then became unmasked for a point in time, and that was just, I think there could have been longevity. You could have had a whole lot more between the brands back and forth, but now the extra watered downing of NWO to all the other factions plus Hogan, because there's no fucking brand killer like Hogan. And I will be 100% honest to that day. And I met the guy. I've had conversation with him. He was cool with me. But he can kill a promotion so fast. I think that one of the greatest things that WWE that allowed them to get to where they're at was letting Hogan go. And letting him go to WCW. And him, I mean, like, he killed TNA. He's literally just pretty much, and that's an ego thing. That's a contract thing.
Could do a whole podcast on that last
Yeah, pretty
match
much.
of his with Jarrett.
But let's be like 100% real, man. Like, if they would have kept just the original NWO, I think there was a lot more future in writing for that show to have been a whole lot more. So if you could change an event, I would change all the branch offs of NWO. I mean, a lot of that was a Russo fucking disruptive fuck all, and the fact that Bischoff let it go. But when you have guys like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and you have guys like Hogan and Macho Man, and they're all standing in the ring as that faction, and then you have an entire locker room that you can promote to stand against that. There was better writing there than what we got.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, looking back in that historical point, yeah, we had 83 weeks of some of the greatest fucking wrestling that we've seen back and forth between two brands. It forced the WWE to start doing live shows, which I think made it better. But in the end, I think it ended too early. Because now, I mean, we had to wait, 30-some years to get another promotion big enough to semi-rival the WWE, and that's in AEW. And, even then people have that debate, but I think we could have had a much higher, better variety of wrestling product that would have promoted. And unfortunately, a lot of promotions went under that I think would have forced all the products to have only gotten better. That monopoly waters it down and forces more mediocrity than I think people realize.
For sure. And you're kind of coming from a different angle that I'm going to touch on with one of my entries that I'll save for then. So
I am too.
Okay.
So interesting. I want to mention one thing. You said that Hogan killed TNA. TNA is not dead. So Hogan did not successfully kill TNA. He certainly
TNA is
tried.
not on TV like it used to be.
It absolutely is. They just got to fucking deal with what channel did they just get? They're on TV. They're bigger than they've ever
They
been
are
before.
on TV. Now, I'm not saying they're not on TV, but they're not on the same mainstream channels that they used to be
They
on.
are now. They're on a main channel. I can't remember what the fuck it was. They just signed a big deal.
And
they're working with WWE right now too.
no,
They're not dead.
yeah.
They're not dead.
was there not like an 8-year period where you didn't even know where TNA was, or is it just me?
I knew where they were the whole time.
Because I'm
They switched
like,
it. They switched
like,
to Impact.
they're coming back because Hogan's gone.
Okay, moving on. So
They were on like Tubi and shit, for fuck's sake, bro. Like that's not like what I would consider a mainstream channel.
they fell off, but they didn't die. Because if they died, then they wouldn't be relevant right now. And they're working with WWE right now. A lot of the people in NXT and even some of the main card people are TNA people.
Look, bro, I believe in Joe Landry just like you do.
Joe
Okay,
Landry?
Joe,
it's Joe Hendry, but anyway.
Anyways,
So, okay, all right. I sit mildly to the left of corrected. Ooh.
okay.
hard to appreciate a good comeback without first a significant downfall.
And yes,
Yeah.
they fell quite a ways from where they were. Because you
I'm
can't tell me
I'm
the
not-
promotion that gave us goddamn AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, fucking beast of athletes,
Those
bro.
actually all came from ROH. But I see
They
where you're going.
got their
Saw that coming.
dude. They got their world standing from TNA. Okay, I can point to almost any wrestler and tell you what fucking independent they came from. That doesn't mean that's what gave them their springboard. TNA gave these guys their springboard. Yes, they were known, but
enough.
they were household names from TNA.
Okay. But they didn't die.
That's debatable. You didn't.
They're on a never mind. Okay. So I have been a wrestling fan all my life. I watch wrestling all over the place. More so now I watch everything than I used to. I used to be more of a WWF person, and I kind of knew what other things were until I got just entirely too bored with the product. And it was way too predictable. I could tell you what was going to happen before the people even came down the ramp. And so I just kind of got bored with it. Took a little hiatus, but then I discovered more independent wrestling and started getting really immersed into that. AEW sprung up. Hardcore fan of AEW since day one. However, I'm finding lately starting to get annoyed with them as well. So that's where this number 9 brings me.
Okay.
They were built on the premise that wins and losses matter. Somewhere along the way, that's went out the fucking window.
Right.
Brand new people like Tommaso Ciampa left WWE. He came there. His first match, he won a fucking title, which he's since dropped. Yeah, he won the match, defended it once, and then lost. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that kind of stuff, but it's starting to get annoying to me. So I would go back in history, and whoever is like, let's not worry about the wins and losses,
Right.
I would slap them in the face, get them the fuck out of there, and continue on the way. So,
Right on.
I mean, that semi started dropping off during the COVID era. I mean, because like pre-COVID, they always had their record: wins, losses, ties, this, that. It was a. They kept stats almost like any other sport, and I've noticed, like, going back and watching the archives and everything else, they kind of semi wean away from that during the COVID era. And I think that's kind of where they started. But yeah, it used to be like a whole stat page and stuff they would go off of as far as, that goes in the beginning, which was kind of what set them apart a little bit. No one else was doing that.
Yeah.
I'll end up relating it to my number 2. We'll get to it.
Okay, oh, my bad.
No, that's the,
Let's just go ahead and skip to number 5. What you got?
So my number 9 is going to be, and I don't know how I would change this. I mentioned my list is diverse. This is just something that grinds my fucking gears when I see it, and that's crowds hijacking the show. I have always said that if you don't like the product, don't buy a ticket. Turn the channel. And then now I say that saying that the crowd is part of the show. The live interaction, we're talking about the COVID era, is that something that's on my list also down the line here. But when you become the show, and I go back to a match with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. This is before Roman Reigns actually got over, and he would get chants like "You can't wrestle," Roman's sleeping, things like that. And in this match with Randy Orton, who is a legend, not just the legend killer, but he's now a legend in the business. For him, as ice in his veins and as stoic as he is, to get rattled by the crowd, which happened in this match, I'm just, dude, settle it down. And for one thing, there could be a father and a son in the crowd, and that's that father and son's only time that they're going to be able to have this experience. And it just gets shit on because the crowd thinks they own the show. And I want to go back to the Bryan Danielson thing too, because I can't. Nobody, even if Bryan Danielson showed up here right now and said that was an organic, the organic movement might have happened, but the ring filling up with fans, that's a work.
Yeah,
because it tied into an angle for one thing.
Yep.
And
I guarantee most of the people in that ring that night were backstage workers.
Yeah, plants.
And the thing about it is, I remember back in the day when a fan would jump in the ring and try to hijack the show. They beat the goddamn fuck out of those fans and kicked them out of the ring, right? Like all the way up into the Triple H era. I remember somebody dove into the ring during a Triple H match, and you knew because he dove on and he's punching you can tell when they're pulling a punch for the show. And there was no pulled punches. This guy was doubled up, covered up. The ref was getting kicks in.
Yeah.
They were trying to get people down to the ring to get him out. Like there is a difference. Now, on the flip side of that coin, I'm going to play devil's advocate to you just for a minute. Kind of based on what we were talking about before we went on. Kind of hard not to think I own part of the show when I paid that much fucking money to get into the show.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, it's very difficult. Like it takes me back to the old days of Mankind, where his only goal was, did I give them their money's worth in my match? Because he knew that there were people that saved all year long to afford that ticket to see that guy perform on that stage. And when you have people who are fans and you have them from every walk of life, you have them from doctors and lawyers down to people who do the basic forms of jobs for money. It is a financial investment for some people that they had to really plan and hope to make to that stage of what they're doing. So it can get a little more emotional on that side because, hey, man, I just saved 8 fucking months to be here.
Yeah.
They're really excited to get there. Doesn't excuse some of the behavior, but at the same point in time, I kind of get it on the other end. I kind of get it on the other end. So, but yeah, because we were just talking about, we say like $70,000 for a meet and greet and for a Earth Seat at WrestleMania. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Those aren't fans. Those are the people with just money that are going to be there.
Yeah,
That's
on the
But
camera
I also know people who save up to get nosebleeds at $400 a ticket that can't see what the fuck's going on because they want to be part of that experience. You know what I'm saying? Like there is a flip coin to once your promotion gets so big and you're charging that much money to get through the door. You can alienate a lot of your fan base. It's just going to sit home and pay the $30 for the pay-per-view back in the day. Where now they're just going to pay for the streaming service to watch it live. Because that's cheaper than one ticket, and I can put 12 of my friends on my couch and we can all watch this and have a good time. Which is why a lot of places like Wrestling Revolver, Ohio Valley Extreme Wrestling, and other places around here are starting to get a bigger fan base because, hey man, you got $20? Cool, let's go to the show this weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's still a good show. It's still a good product. But the one common thread at all of those shows is the fans are passionate and the fans want to feel like they're involved in that show because you do get attached to certain characters in the ring, certain storylines in the ring. So I get it, but yeah, don't jump in the ring. They will probably beat the fuck out of you if you do.
But it's not even jumping in the ring. It's just from a crowd. I think that's more what you were talking about, a crowd standpoint, the whole crowd.
Yeah, doing the wave, tossing the beach ball around.
Yeah, like
you're going to get your point across if you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah.
But again, the emotional thing inside of it, and granted, where that comes from mostly is the infamous Raw after Mania shows where it's been in the same city for 4 fucking straight nights. Yeah. And you're probably getting some burnout fans that are just
Just
what are you
tired.
going to do to entertain them?
Right.
First of all, and if you left a stinker in the ring on any of the main events, you're kind of asking for it.
go back to your ticket. They paid the price to be there. Okay, they know what they're going to see. It's not changed since the last week.
Yeah.
So why the fuck pay that money to go there and then act fucking like a dipshit. And
I mean, why
beach
pay
ball
money
around.
to go see a band and act like an asshole in the crowd? You're gonna get assholes everywhere. I mean, you really are. There's gonna be people that are gonna feel entitled to do whatever at any point. No, I don't go to a wrestling event. I don't participate in the wave. I mean, I have a thing I do, like even at like high school events, we're trying to get people to do the wave. When it gets to my section, I just hold my hand up and actually wave, and people look at me like I'm a fucking idiot. I'm like, I'm not fucking standing. I'm doing this dumb shit.
Yeah.
To me, that's the equivalent of going to your stand-up show, and everybody in the crowd who should be listening to you telling fucking jokes, they're just having conversation. They're not listening to you whatsoever. That's to me, that's the equivalent.
Oh, you were at that bar show? I didn't see you.
He was in the back having a conversation.
Obviously. I mean, yeah, it kind of is. Because I would look at that and be like, what was the point in buying the money if I was going to
Exactly.
come here and
That's what I'm
bullshit with
saying,
my
yeah.
buddy the whole time? You know, I mean, but you're going to have those people to a degree. And yes, when you get enough of them in an area, to his point, you ruin a whole fucking show.
Yeah.
And I get it, man, because like, when I even go to the Wrestling Revolver or any of the other smaller shows in the area, and I'm taking my daughter because she likes to go with me, I'm driving up and go, man, I hope this is going to be a good show. Like, I hope everything is going to be chill, you know. I hope we have to move because they're going to hit someone with our seats type shit, you know, which is great when that happens. But I never hope for the fans to retaliate or cause a distraction because you don't want to watch what these two fuckers over here are doing when they're performing in the ring as well. And that is a thing. But like I said, you know, we all paid money to be in there, and some people's idea of entertainment is vastly different than others, unfortunately. So, but yeah,
And it
it
only
sucks.
takes a few to instigate, the whole row, and then all of a sudden there's the whole section, and there's the whole arena.
Yeah. So, all right, on number 8 then. So, number 8 for me was the fading out of a wrestling organization that was really near and dear to my heart. Loved so many wrestlers in this promotion, man. They could tell a story. It was ran by one of the greatest people in the wrestling industry, in my opinion. I'm talking about, this is the wrestling promotion where I fell in love with guys like Justin Credible, guys like Sandman, guys like RVD, guys like Jerry Lynn, guys like Tommy Dreamer. And the day I heard ECW was shutting their doors hurt, because if anything, goddamn Paul Heyman can book a fucking match, man, and Paul Heyman can talk on the mic, and we lost an incredible amount of insane talent because they were doing things in ECW that was mimicked on bigger stages elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, Sandman was drinking the beer and walking through the crowd fucking years before Stone Cold did it. I'm sorry, but he really was. You had Tommy Dreamer, who was the lovable underdog long before Mankind started pulling that off. And you had, guys going through tables, ladders, and chairs long before Edge, Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys were taking it to another level of perfection. You got to see it there first. And I honestly think that ECW was in a really weird point in time because I think they were a little early on what they offered. I think they could have gotten a lot bigger and had a mainstay, but unfortunately in what we call the now age of wrestling, they were destined to die off at some point.
Yeah.
And I really wish we could have got better and more exposure to on a worldwide stage of what they offered, because there was actual legit insanely good talent in that entire organization that went on to do great things in other organizations, but they shined, and there was something gritty, raw, and very real about ECW. And they had the best fucking pay-per-view names ever.
We'll give you that.
They had the greatest pay-per-view names ever.
That promotion is dead. Just wanted to point that out.
Pieper, I never walked out of a podcast, possibly until today. And
So, the closest thing to ECW is a promotion called GCW. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but that's one that I want to get you to at some point in time, because sometimes they come to Columbus. So
I've been looking a little bit at that. And it looks like it'd be a whole lot of fun.
It is.
Extreme Ohio Valley Extreme Wrestling is another one that's right in that vein of old school ECW. A lot of extreme, a lot of they're not afraid to, as they say in the business, get color, and a lot of it in that wrestling organization, man. So,
Well, that yours kind of segues into mine talking about extreme. My number 8. Never should have gotten rid of the hardcore champion.
dude, I 100% agree.
I
with
don't
you.
know why. I don't know when. I think it had to do with the PG era. Fuck the PG shit. I don't care if the hardcore matches are just on pay-per-views.
Best
They
championship looking belt ever.
Yes, they should have kept that as a main champion. Yes.
And that stems off of the $1 Million Man when he took the original championship belt and broke it with a hammer. That's where they got the idea for that hardcore belt. And we never would have had the hardcore belt if we hadn't had Mick Foley. Because when Mick Foley came to WWE, Vince was like, I'm not promoting this guy, I'm not going to put a belt on this fat, ugly bastard, because he just did not fit that, So what did he do? He got so fucking popular, they had to make a belt to put on him.
Yeah.
They gave him the hardcore belt. Because what was Foley known for? Fucking damn near dying in a C4 match in Japan. I mean, Jesus Christ. He flew from Japan back, and his wife was like, why does it smell like something's burning? He's like, that's me. I mean, so him and Terry Funk and some of these guys who were innovators of why we got things like ECW. Dude, the hardcore matches, yeah. Crash Holly. Dude.
like I said, they just kept it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But there's
And then it got to a point where they would only do like 1 or 2 of the matches a year on pay-per-views. Like, it used to be like every other Monday night you had a hardcore match.
I think it was the PG era that done away with it. But
And you remember the hardcore championship? It was what, 24/7?
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Like you had guys trying to get pinned in airports and shit. It was crazy. It was the best TV, man. It was great.
and anytime you have somebody that you don't really have a spot for, you can throw them into that also, so they can get just a little bit of TV time.
It gives them a chance to showcase what they are. It really lets the fans be able to decide, hey, this guy didn't get enough screen time. Now he's hardcore champion. Like he might only get 5 to 7 minutes every week, but it's 5 to 7 fighting minutes where they can decide if they really like you or not. And
can be in a backstage segment. They don't have which can be recorded.
And what I loved about it was there was no weight class limit it wasn't a cruiserweight championship. It wasn't an intercontinental championship. It wasn't the heavyweight championship. Anybody could hold that.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gave a little more of a scrappy feel to the promotion.
When they're doing the slap fest, they can go in a picture, and the guy is backstage attacking somebody.
Yes.
There you go.
I will watch that. Do you guys think that they were trolling us a little bit with the 24/7 title, that green championship that was just...
Man, yeah.
That was the only thing that was the same about the hardcore. But
it was
could just be pinned anywhere.
It was. I don't know. It wasn't executed well.
No.
It wasn't executed well at all.
Only when R-Truth had it.
Dude, I can do an entire top 10 R-Truth moments
Yeah.
podcast. Don't get me started on R-Truth, man. Like, easily one of the most lovable, highly talented in-ring performers ever. I'm not even. Ron Killings is phenomenal.
John Cena
Phenomenal.
being his childhood hero when he's older than John Cena.
No. he comes out and he's like, "What are you doing out here? It's not even your time." Oh, my bad.
My bad, Kane.
My bad. I mean, Ron is truly a performer that doesn't have to wrestle to steal the hearts of a crowd. The guy is absolutely beyond phenomenal. So, all right, you're number 8.
Me? So we talked about COVID. It is me, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we talked about COVID. Whatever you think or want to say about that. I have a gripe with the Thunderdome era.
Ooh. Yeah.
And it's a deep one because, what did AEW do? They used the talent in the back to be part of the show, be the live crowd. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't the same as 10 to 15,000 crowd arena. No, but it was something.
That's how the Guns got over.
Yeah.
'Cause they were.
I mean, them doing it in Daly's place with that kind of half outdoor arena type scenario. I like that.
Yeah.
WWE just didn't execute it very well.
WWE did what? Set up like 10,000 fucking monitors in
That's
an
what you're
arena.
talking
Like,
about,
give me a
right?
Yeah.
break.
Okay.
This is one that I actually did some research in. It cost them millions upon millions to fill a building with that many high def screens. I don't know what that is that they did that enabled people to be on those screens. If
Oh,
they
you
were-
had to
they-
pay.
What was that? What it was?
Oh,
And
you
they-
had to pay to be on one of those screens, man.
and they had a list of things that you could not have in the privacy of your own home to be. And I get that part, but here's the thing. Here's the gripe. Listen to some of these names: Zack Ryder, Rusev, Gallows, and Anderson. That's a small list out of about 70 that got released that year,
Yeah.
making room in
Yeah.
the books and on the bank for that fiasco.
Yeah, the Black Tuesday layoffs or whatever they called it. It was ridiculous.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
The amount of talent they let go was fucking ridiculous. And look at Rusev now.
Is he doing anything?
I think he's back. He's back in WWE now.
Yes, I don't
But
watch them enough.
What he
wasn't
did,
in the Rumble.
what
Okay,
he did in
yeah, sure, it's the
AEW
Rumble.
though, it was a whole new persona for him,
No, and
and it worked.
And I loved you talk about like the Redeemer, Miro, that whole
Yes,
yeah,
that
was
was a great gimmick for him, man. Like
I don't know what happened with that, but
anyway,
now that he's back, he had a feud with Sheamus, and disappeared for a while. wasn't prominent enough to be on any of the PLEs. It
Yeah.
looks like they're getting ready to pair him with Obafemi, which
the WWE
good.
has a very big problem with destroying talent, in my opinion, and I'm gonna touch on that a little bit later. But yeah, so number 7 goes back to once again another promotion. People tend to kind of know it, and other people don't have a clue what I'm talking about. This was a promotion that was out of Mexico. It aired on the El Rey network. And because I didn't have those premium cable channels, I had to backtrack through the internet to find places to watch this at. But it capitalized on something that wrestling today is missing, and that's real storytelling, episodic storytelling. And I think the stage wasn't large enough for it, but it introduced me to superstars that have moved on to bigger and better things. One of them was Pentagon Jr. I got to see Rey Mysterio come back in his element. I got to see, in that one, he was Johnny Mundo, otherwise known as
John Morrison.
John Morrison. Actually got a lot better in what he did in this. The championship belts were all new. They had new tournaments. They actually had an underlying storyline of essentially corrupt corporate versus the people working versus Monster coming in. Got to see, what was his name? He was in ECW or not ECW. He was in WCW for a while with the Latinos.
Conan.
That's
Zero?
it. Conan. Conan was in this organization for a while and everything else. Phenomenal organization, but they had the storytelling down to an art. They really, and I loved watching it because the storytelling of inside and outside the ring was absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite wrestling belts of all time called the Gift of the Gods, and that was the death of Lucha Underground. And they really, the whole arena was set up like inside an Aztec temple where you had to walk down these like stone stairs of this ring and arena. And I think Matt Stryker was on commentary for that, and it was Matt Stryker and I believe, who was the other guy on commentary with him? Was it Conan or was it? No, it wasn't Conan.
I can't remember.
It was I don't remember who else it was, but I mean, phenomenal team all the way around. And I think it just didn't hit the audience it needed to hit, and I don't think it being on the El Rey network in the United States got it the exposure it needed to get. But I think if a lot of wrestling fans could have got back and seen that show, they would have seen the storytelling they were missing from so many other eras.
yeah.
They got played out so well there. And it was ridiculous, man. And there was a lot of really good, if you like the high flying, the smaller guys, the luchador style wrestling, that had it. It really did. It had its own cheesy like cop offs and cutouts. John Morrison was never one of my top favorite wrestlers ever, but he shined more there than he did anywhere else. And, you got to see Rey Mysterio come back. Of course, Pentagon Jr., which turned into Penta, which turned into, everything we know now. He was still building and running and doing everything. And it's kind of cool to see how, some of these things that aren't around anymore still was able to showcase some of the main biggest talent we have now, which is really cool.
I just love the way he self-brands himself. Is Johnny Impact at Impact Wrestling?
Oh, yeah,
Johnny Elite in AEW.
Johnny Elite.
Johnny Mundo there.
Johnny Mundo and Lucha
Johnny TV
Underground.
Johnny TV.
He's Johnny TV now? Of course he is. Of course he is.
Him and
I mean-
Tyra have like a show that they do together. So.
You know what? 100% though, he drives the arrogance to a brand, and he does it well. I mean, so...
Also on there was Ricochet. He went by Prince Puma.
Prince Puma, yeah.
Swerve Strickland. He was Killshot.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Cage was on there. There's a lot.
There was so much stuff that came in. I mean, there was a lot of guys who passed through there. Like I said, I wasn't going to be able... I don't doubt that in the least, but I think that if they could have got a better audience in the U.S., they could have taken off a lot more than they did. I mean, so if I could have changed that, I would have had to have changed the exposure they got here, because I really think there was a market for it. The whole story behind the whole tournament, behind the Gift of the Gods belt, where everyone had to win a medallion and then place it in the belt at the final run for the championship. It's such a cool story.
I don't know if it was before or after they went under, but they got a Netflix deal, because the three seasons, I believe, were on Netflix.
Yeah,
But it might have been after the fall.
It was after the fall, but it was just that kind of like that classic storytelling that was really cool in that wrestling. Absolutely, man. But it didn't feel campy either. Like,
I think because we went out of order this time, you're not used to going first. We skipped the Mary Fuck Kill because we're supposed to do it.
oh yeah.
So we will take a break before I give my number 7 and do a Mary Fuck Kill. Anybody have any that they want to say, or do we want to go to the cards? Dead silence. Let's just go to the cards then.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go Sunny.
Okay.
For the second, your pick of any of the original Nitro girls. You don't remember the Nitro girls?
I mean, I remember them, but I don't know like any of their names. Didn't DDP end up marrying one of them?
Yeah,
Okay, I'll go with that
he
one.
did,
Okay.
actually. Okay, DDP's wife. Whoa, way to go.
Bang.
Or Sable.
Okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You know who she's married to now, right?
Yeah.
Me in this situation.
Yeah, there's no winning whichever way you pick.
There really isn't, is there?
Sunny.
Because it seems like 3 good selections, and then you think about it and go,
Yeah.
hang on. No. And we'll go with Sunny from her early years, not current. I'll give you that.
Okay.
The Chris Bandino years or whatever.
And who was the middle one?
It's the Nitro girl that married
Nitro,
DDP.
Okay.
So I can look that up for you. Which, oddly enough, her name's Paige McMahon, but not related.
You got to be shitting me.
No, I'm not.
Wait, so I know Diamond Dallas Page isn't like his real name, but in a way, wouldn't
His last name is Paige.
Is it really? So
Yes, yes, it
is her name not then Page?
Yes, it is.
Page?
And it's spelled Paygepagee. So it is Paige. But that's DDP and his wife.
Well, I'm gonna fuck her because he's a good dude, and
He legitimately is a good dude, man. Like, the more I know about DDP, he
Yeah.
legitimately is a good dude.
So I don't want to I wouldn't want to either through matrimony or deathing her. He'll have to deal with some, maybe some therapy. But anyway.
That's all right. He'll just do some yoga and get over it.
So.
Ouch. Sorry. I actually feel bad after saying that one now.
And then fuck Sonny in her heyday, even though she was getting passed around by pretty much everybody apparently. And then that leaves killing Sable because, like I said, no matter what you do with her, Brock Lesnar is gonna seek vengeance.
Lesnar.
Exactly, he's gonna seek vengeance no matter what, and I don't stand a chance.
See, I think you do if you approach the right way. So, hear me out.
From the back, from afar, with a sniper rifle, maybe.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
So,
I want to hear this explanation. That's going to be good.
I never was attracted to Sunny. I'm not, whatever. So I'm just going to kill her. That was first instinct was to kill her. So that leaves me with Paige's wife and Lesnar's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Paige should probably beat my ass, but I feel like I have more chance taking him. Plus, who says that I can't marry DDP and Paige's wife? So that's who I'm going to marry.
For the Golden Gate Bridge.
Brings us back to the Golden Gate Bridging. Exactly.
I think the percentage of gay is slightly higher in him, dude. I'm not going to lie. I think it's just slightly higher, which is...
my sexuality. Anyways.
What?
That leaves me...
I'm comfortable with my sexuality, but I'm not marrying dudes.
I'm not actually marrying them. This is hypothetical. Anyways.
He hypothetically marries a lot of dudes.
Now, this brings me to Brock Lesnar and how I'm going to get away with fucking Sable, which also I never really found all that attractive. Would I fuck her? Yeah, I'd probably fuck her. But not on my top of my list.
Man, Monday Night Raw, the 2 handprints over her tits and puppies in the ring was kind of a big deal back in the day.
But
she could get it.
If I wasn't personally going to kill Brock myself and needed to fuck Sable, I'd holler at my boy Roman. Roman seems to be able to handle him pretty easily. So that's what I'm assuming. I have a relationship with Roman in this situation.
As long as it's scripted.
So that's my explanation.
Oh my god. All right. I'm killing Sable, but it's going to be long range with a sniper rifle, and Brock has to be standing right behind her because I'm 2 birds with 1 stoning that motherfucker because I'm not dealing with the aftermath.
Yeah.
I will have a sunny day, not married, and then on the other end of that spectrum, I'm not going to marry DDP. I will marry his wife, and we will all cohabitate. There will be no
It's the same thing.
Crossing of the swords.
Honey, banana.
There won't be no crossing of the swords, but she can float between beds every other night. I wouldn't be opposed to that. It'd just be like turning a page. You know what I'm saying? It just
Back to me Golden Gate Bridging. I don't have to be the one sitting crisscross applesauce. It could be DDP down there. So
that's true. So that leaves you with 2 choices.
Or
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
It could be the female, and me and DDP could be holding hands, looking at each other.
And just when you think it couldn't get worse,
Somebody still does have to get fingered in your scenario.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So never mind.
This summer to the sequel of Freddy Got Fingered.
All right.
Comes the stunning new adaptation.
My number 7. Back to the list. All right. This goes back to your faction thing, because I love factions. I think that's another...
I love factions, dude.
I think it's another big way to get people time
It is.
without being on TV all the time.
If the faction's right.
Fair enough. And going back to NWO specifically, there is somebody that if they would have booked this faction stronger, all of those people didn't have to go to NWO. And that's the Ravens flock. I absolutely loved Raven and the Ravens flock, but they did not book them strong enough.
See, the Ravens flock, I think, could have been a solid stand against NWO.
Exactly. That's what I'm going. That's what I'm saying.
Because Raven was psycho enough to stand toe-to-toe with most of those guys, even though he wasn't going to win. but it would have made really entertaining television, really entertaining writing. But they refused to push Raven the way he should have been pushed. And that was the guy that came out of ECW and just fell when he got to WCW. And that's the sad part, because Raven was really, really good. And he always had the ability in ring to do what a lot of other people couldn't do. And that was not care and have everyone love him at the same time.
Yeah.
He was the lovable, bookable loser. And there's not a lot of guys who can pull that off in the industry. And he did it expertly.
And could go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He did it expertly and could go. And I agree. Raven's Flock was definitely a flop in that particular standpoint, because there could have been so much more. And it was so well placed name-wise and everything else for him to do what he needed to do. I mean, the symbolicism of the Ravens and being able to build a stable and a brand around that, it could have been huge. It could have been huge.
Number 7 for you, Pieper.
They started this with Mr. T, but it was needed maybe then. I don't think they need to do this now. I would fucking get rid of pushing the celebrities. Logan Paul. Now him with Paul Heyman now. Hopefully he's gonna get better and actually show up every week.
Wait a minute.
Seems to be, but
Logan Paul's with Paul Heyman now?
yeah, he's part of the Vision.
That's right. Fuck.
But before being part time and showing up at every in between premium live event and being right in a title match, no, fuck that. I hate that.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't think celebrities should be part of the roster. I think that kind of waters down what these guys actually do. I think celebrity appearances is good.
Yes.
Because it can be quite entertaining. And when you look at things like Mr. T, and even in recent years, like Jelly Roll, like he actually left, trained, tried, came back. Wasn't bad. I got really weird Dusty Rhodes vibes off the guy for a second.
Yeah.
It really wasn't bad. But you knew it wasn't there to stay either. It was cool. It was there. It was gone. We're back to the product, to what we do. It was great. But to put someone like Logan Paul on the roster, I mean, for one, I get it. He's a heel in life. He's a heel in the ring. No one likes the guy. Yeah. Sadly, he has a shred of talent for it. But not to be pushed the way he's being pushed. Not when they have guys with higher talent who are there week in and week out every night trying to build a name for themselves, and they're getting stepped over by some kid from Cleveland who got popular on YouTube and Vine. That rubs me really wrong, especially when I talk to guys on the independent circuit who are putting work in and they're just doing what they do. Now that I've said that, we can cross back over to the Logan Paul ass tonger. I mean, no.
What?
You like Logan Paul?
No, I don't. What gave you that fucking idea?
I could have swore from some of our conversations you were a Logan Paul guy.
I've defended Roman when you talk shit about Roman, but I've never once.
Roman's there because his family was there two decades before.
Not true at all. No, I'm not a Logan Paul or Paul family.
I'm not a
fan at all. I mean, he's doing it. So
yeah. I mean, he made it farther than I did. I can't say shit.
I'm 100% agreeant, though, the pushing of celebrities.
Yeah, and a main. I mean, I think the cameos are good. They can be good depending on who it is. But the whole. Don't sign them. Just don't sign them.
And if they do, they need to full on. Then start from, put them in NXT.
Yeah.
And yes,
learn.
If it's something they want to
weekly.
do, absolutely. If it's something that they're really wanting to do, put them at the bottom. Let them
He
go.
is full time now, right? I think it was just more of a propelling to where he was, top spot kind of thing.
And yeah, it did. Like I said, I believe behind the scenes, maybe Paul Heyman went to the brass, went to Triple H maybe and said, "Let me have him. Let me have him, and let me tell him that he's going to be here every Monday." And he's going to learn how to do this. He's going to learn how to work the crowd. He's going to learn how to fucking talk. Yeah. He's got the athleticism, like we talked about. Yeah. But those other hang-ups, no.
And when you think about it, man, Paul Heyman has the ability to make anybody look like a fucking god in the ring. And because that's what Paul Heyman does.
The national treasure.
He is. We would not have wrestling or the stars we have, not only today, but in the past, that weren't somehow directly linked to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is genius in the way, not only the way he promotes, but the way he can force a crowd to like somebody in the end. Like, the guy is absolute genius on a microphone, and he can propel somebody to heights that they were never going to reach on their own.
I hate to do this, but we only have the studio till 4, so I'm going to have to rush us along a little bit.
All right.
So if I cut you guys off or something, I apologize now. I'm just trying to keep it going.
It's number 6 then.
There you go.
Okay. Number 6, and in my opinion, the one thing I would change 100% is the story of Taz and Samoa Joe. When they finally made it to that, what we would call the big stage, the WWE stage, they were so fucking destroyed character-wise. Like, these two guys were fucking machines. They were beasts. These guys would have been the guys that, in my opinion, should have got the push Brock Lesnar got. Because Samoa Joe, Samoa's submission machine, I still remember TNA walking to the ring, blood dripping, on that towel that he carried. He was feared. He was a monster. Taz, the suplex submission machine, dude was a monster when he was in. And they got him there, and they relegated him to what? Fucking color commentary? Like, these were...
He's really good at that. Side note, just saying.
The point is, that guy had so much more. And this is the problem that I see with WWE. They take talent, legitimate, real fucking talent that could literally take them to the next level. And they destroy them.
And the pop that he got from his debut at the Royal Rumble when he was in, was it Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
It was like, people shouldn't even know who he was. I didn't really much know who he was because I didn't watch ECW until I had to go back and watch it. But
And Taz, man, like Taz walks to the ring with that towel over his head, just kind of, I mean, his presence alone was unreal. And I go back and just change how some of these guys' story turned out. I think that there was so much more there than they were ever given credit for. Once they got to the quote unquote big stage, they were swept under the rug. And these guys were not sweep under the rug guys. Nope. These guys were powerhouses.
Samoa Joe's still getting good push in AEW. Taz is on color commentary, but
but he had to leave WWE. You know what I'm saying?
I was just throwing it out.
Yeah, and it's not the same push. You know, I'm always going to be a Samoa Joe fan, dude. Like guy's a incredible athlete, incredible worker.
All right, number 6 for me. It's gonna be real quick because it goes along with your crowd taking over aspect, and it's. Let me say this first. I'm not the biggest fan of this individual in the first place because I was more of a Rock fan, and that would be Stone Cold. But his what chant. I don't know when that fucking started, but I would go back and erase it from history because I can't stand the what. It's almost as bad as the yes chant. But the what, I would get rid of it.
You know, it was great when Stone Cold did it. It got overwhelming when the crowd did it for every fucking thing ever. Like, it fit for Stone Cold. It did not fit for crowd chants. That's gone on for the next 20 fucking years.
And it's a heckle.
Yeah.
When they can see that somebody is just bombing in the ring on the mic and what?
But the heckle worked for Stone Cold with the character and the persona that he was. It just didn't work for the crowd. And sometimes that can, but that was not a case it did. And it just hung around forever.
Still there.
Number 5.
We 5?
No.
My 6.
6. His 6.
Yeah. I don't need to go that fast.
Yeah. All right, number 3.
So if snake bite, the snake bite, Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
Macho Man.
Yeah, I'm whatever the phobia is called for snakes. I'm raising my hand for those who can't see it. But when he was a heel, he could make me, because he was so good, he could make me forget that I was afraid of snakes. When he was a baby face, he was so good that I cheered and lauded when he draped Damien over top of somebody.
Yeah.
I did not need to be an 11-year-old Saturday morning and see Macho Man get bitten by a fucking cobra.
Dude, the crazy part is
You would
Jake.
take that out of history?
Wow.
Because he didn't need it.
That is an iconic moment, bro.
And he loves it. He loves talking about it now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was his idea. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But, I would take that out because I don't like I said, he was so good at what he did, at talking and doing promos. He didn't need that.
Did you know Jake was afraid of snakes, right?
To hear him talk about them, I would never have guessed that.
Jake did not like snakes at all.
And neither did Macho Man. You should listen to some of the interviews about that.
They tried to they told Jake he needed to go learn how to handle snakes, and he wouldn't go. He just said, I'll figure it out. He goes, when I'm on, I'm on. I'll figure it out when I get to the ring. He hated snakes.
Huh.
Absolutely. He took
that.
the gig because he needed the money. He needed the job. But he hated snakes.
I've heard a few interviews, and he said to get that snake riled up to want to latch onto Macho Man, he said he would be paintbrushing him back and forth, smacking the shit out of it to get it angry. And I'm like,
so he did that because back in the locker room, Macho Man made him take a bite from the snake to prove it wasn't, venomous. He was like, dude, it's not. He goes, so when I got out there, I was pissed off. So I pissed the snake off. He's like, I reached in that bag and paintbrushed the fuck out of that snake like 4 times.
You're right. He didn't need that. But I needed that. I don't want to forget that happened.
That was probably easy one of the most iconic moments in wrestling history, in my opinion.
And I would get the fuck rid of it.
I mean, I get it. When we get to my upper echelon, I might make a statement. You guys will be like, "You fucking for real?" But no, anyway.
Well, let me put it here. So, Macho Man wanted him to prove that it wasn't venomous, and his defense was, "Trust me, bro." Like, no, I would be let him bite you right on the fucking chest where the heart is. Do that, yeah. Then we'll go out and do the segment.
Yeah, right. So, all right, number 5 then.
Yes.
Number 5 for me is more of a recent thing, but this one actually hit me kind of hard because it brought storytelling back to the WWE. And when this ended, I knew we were never going to get storytelling like this again. And this is a wrestler who's from an iconic family of wrestlers. And his death literally hit me hard, died way too young. And I'm talking about the death of none other than Bray Wyatt and his ability to formulate a story and create something around his the cult family, the Wyatt family from the backwoods of Louisiana, all the way into the Fiend, and he still had this story going. Like, I saw this as the next Undertaker. I saw this as the next kind of phenom, dark story that wrestling really needed. And then, of course, he was taken from us way too young, and he was definitely somebody, in my opinion, that is a legendary icon of the sport for the amount of time he was in it. But Bray Wyatt's death, if I could change that, I wanted to see the rest of his vision for his storyline. I think he was just taken from us just way too early.
Brilliant fucking mind, too.
Oh, absolutely.
The whole QR.
The Wyndham family? Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, my God, dude.
The puzzles and stuff that with the QR codes, before he died. And,
Yeah, like he was gearing up for something absolutely insane, and the evolution. I wasn't there. I didn't like every single evolution he went through, but I knew it was coming to a point, to a story, and I was there for it, man. Like, I was there for it.
He would have been huge when he inevitably signed with AEW.
So.
Number 5 for me, the handling of the invasion angle after Vince McMahon bought WCW.
Oh my God.
In 2001.
Yeah.
It was rushed, kind of like I am doing the podcast now.
It was terrible.
It was. Like, they should have.
So bad.
It should have been a slow burn, bring in the top talent rather than what they did. There's just so many things they did wrong.
I loved what he did with Shane O'Mac owning, ECW and Stephanie, owning WCW. Or maybe it was the opposite. I don't remember exactly which. Yeah. But the fact that they had set this 3-branched family feud with a freaking goddamn army behind each one of them up, and then they just fucked it up. There was so much that could have played off that. It was terrible.
The army behind them was the problem, though, because the main big stars that made WCW didn't come over
Yeah, they didn't want
in
to pay any of their
in the
contracts, so
beginning.
they
Yeah.
and like I
So
said,
that-
it was set up to be.
they started putting like Stone Cold ended up with it was dumb.
Yeah.
The whole handling of it was just terrible.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, they had that set up to be something never before seen again, and they botched the whole carry. They botched the entire carry. At that, dude, if he just would have spent the money and brought all the stars back, that would have been one of the most insane.
Or just waited. He could have literally just waited.
He probably couldn't wait. It was his arrogance that said, "I bought my competition."
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
He would have waited. It'd been
I mean,
huge.
it was that whole "I beat Ted Turner finally" type bullshit that came out of it, and I think ECW was just the icing on the cake for him at that point. So
Waited a year. I'm telling you, that's all I needed to do.
Yeah.
But number 5 for you, sir.
My number 5, this will be near and dear to you, is Cody Rhodes not vying for the AEW title.
Oh,
Or backstage and on screen refusing to. Or the whole stipulation with the match against Jericho. Because look who is the feud next? MJF. You don't want to win the title. You want to avoid the Booker Championship thing. Fine. Take the title off Jericho. Dump it to MJF almost immediately. Instead of getting I call it a cringe feud. We had him getting whipped and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine that being for the title. And imagine this.
Yeah.
You could have had MJF cutting promos saying, "I'm the youngest AEW champion of all time." He would have been the 3rd AEW champion of all time. But he would have milked that like the heel that he is, and it would have been great.
And MJF is such a phenomenal athlete and phenomenal on the mic. It would have been fucking epic, dude.
You could still be using that promo today.
It
I
would have
was
been
the youngest
fucking
champion
epic.
ever.
I absolutely, dude. It would have been
well,
fucking epic.
he is the current AEW champion right
Yeah.
now. And just this past Wednesday on Dynamite, Hangman just did the same exact fucking stipulation. And as soon as it came out of his mouth, I was like, what are we fucking doing?
Yeah.
Because I know he's not going to win.
man. It's
He's
fucking
not.
ridiculous.
He's going to lose it, and then Hangman's never going to challenge again. What? Like, I don't know
Yeah,
whose idea this was.
And what's his motivation behind it? Because at least Cody Rhodes has that was his dad's stigma that he had to live and work through
Right.
when he was doing that back in the day. What's Hangman Page's?
He doesn't have that angle. And I mean, at least Cody Rhodes kind of had that angle about it, right? He kind of had that family angle, and we all want that family angle because him and his brother and obviously his dad. But MJF doesn't, and he doesn't have a reason to have that angle. Okay, MJF is he's the arrogant. He's this. He doesn't have a reason to have that
the
angle.
reason that they're giving, not that I say it's good, but the reason they're giving is because he wants a stipulation for the title match, and that's the only way MJF is going to give him the stipulation is if he makes that stipulation of never challenging again.
Yeah. See, but
So yeah,
you're handcuffing Page's ability to rise, and that's and
they did the same thing with Cody.
I'm not the biggest fan of Hangman Page. I think the guy's super talented, but don't cap him. Don't cap him like that because he has the ability to be a world champion. I honestly believe Hangman Page has the ability to be a world champion.
You haven't caught up on all I did.
Don't-
Have you? I'm not going to.
No, but don't cap his career like that. Don't even try to cap a guy's career like that.
Yeah.
So, all right, number 4 would be real quick for me. We've already touched on it. And for me, that was the end of the Hardcore Championship title. And obviously, we've hit that 100 times. But back during the what I would call the prime Attitude Era, that was easily my favorite championship to watch get defended, to watch get passed. Because, I mean, Crash Holly's still, in my opinion, one of the greatest fucking hardcore champions ever. Because it was little Crash Holly, goddammit. And just, you never knew when it was gonna when it was gonna happen. You just never knew. It could literally be during a promo in the back, and here comes a ref flying by, and the camera guy turns, and there's somebody smacking somebody with something. I mean, it was the unpredictability of it that I loved, and losing that championship, that hurt.
Yeah,
So I'll leave that at that. But that's my number 4.
All right. Mine's also going to be quick because I don't think either one of maybe or are familiar with this individual. But my number 1 top favorite wrestler, got a tattoo right here, is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever going to top him. But very, very close is number 2, and that is Matt Taven. I've spoken about him before.
Waiting to see if he was going to make an
Was
appearance on this.
recently released from AEW. They didn't re-sign him. I don't fucking understand why. I have tweeted Tony Khan every day saying, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's not responded or anything, or
Of course
No,
not. But I'm still going to tweet it. But yes, so the
What, you didn't get back?
the mishandling of what I think is the best wrestler to do it right now is just, I don't understand what they were doing. So I would go back in time and be like, hey, book him to do this, this, and this, and then you'll understand, and then they'll re-sign him. But I thought he was going to appear in the Royal Rumble, and part of me was excited for him, but also I was sad because if he would have appeared, that means I would have to watch WWE.
And have to have WWE ruin another great athlete. All right.
If you don't know Matt Taven, look into him.
But was he partnered with somebody else in AEW?
Matt Bennett.
Yeah, that,
He's
okay,
always been real close friends with him, and a stable called The Kingdom.
Yep, I remember. So my number 4, I'm going to be as brief as I possibly can because this is a complex idea. I would not let those guys do the curtain call in Madison Square Garden. And it's not because the old timers in the back were fearful of what that could do. Obviously, with the internet and with the cat's out of the bag. Kayfabe was kind of on the way out by then. But look what came after. Some people would say you wouldn't have gotten 316 without that because Triple H was supposed to win the King of the Ring.
Yep.
Some people might say, yeah, but you wouldn't have gotten the NWO. Yeah, you would have because the NWO happened. Hall and Nash were leaving anyway. That was the whole point behind it.
Yeah.
But imagine those two scenarios, Austin versus McMahon and the NWO and the Monday Night Wars with just a couple more years of kayfabe left. That's why I would have just said no curtain call. I don't care what you
The
do.
curtain call is why we got Stone Cold, honestly, because there was the only person they could punish was Triple H.
Yeah,
you had your champion was Shawn. I mean,
and the other two were leading.
and the other two were gone. I mean, what was it going to do? Fire him? That was
about-
their last. That was
How
their
about
last
just
night.
eliminating the punishment then?
I argue that Austin he already strapped his own rockets to his own boots.
Yeah.
He was going to be 316 no matter what, and it was going to be that cutthroat sort of who's going to be the main event.
His career was so short. Did we have time to wait?
What's that now?
Stone Cold. Like his years on top was only like 4 years, dude. Like it wasn't really that long.
Yeah, and he was already in the business for a while anyway.
And I mean, was he really going to be able to make the impact he made without that? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think if they could have still, he still would have been on top. If Triple H goes on to win the King of the Ring, it probably would have been against him because they were on opposite sides of that bracket.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it very well could have been. Like I said, I think Stone Cold was destined to do something great regardless. I think that push is what got him to the level of greatness he was at. Triple H was probably always going to end up with Stephanie at some point anyway, and I think that's where he got, he was always going to be great at that point. But that's a debate that can go so many different ways, man. That's a debate that can go. There's good arguments for any side of that coin if you want the truth, and that's something that that could have changed the landscape of wrestling as we know it had the curtain call never happened. We don't know. That could have drastically changed the landscape of wrestling as we know it. We have no idea how that would have panned. But all I can tell you is because it happened, I was there for Stone Cold, and I love Stone Cold. I'm totally down with what Stone Cold offered in that aspect because I think they needed Stone Cold, whether they realized they had him at that point in time or not. Stone Cold, I think, is instrumental in what helped win the Monday Night Wars.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah. All right, man. It takes us to our top 3, and our top 3 is one of those dream matches that everyone wanted to see, and once we got it, could I go back? I would make it so it never fucking happened because I was there for it, and I hated it. And it was kind of a travesty to a degree, and I went back and rewatched this match, and I just shook my head at it. And that was... I believe you said you were there, possibly, for that match.
Are we talking about Hogan Rock?
We were talking about Hogan Rock. We were talking about the match between The
in
Rock
attendance.
and Hulk Hogan. What a fucking hyped train wreck, man. I hate to say it.
Speaking from a person that was there, wouldn't know. That fucking crowd was live for that. That's why them standing there for 10 minutes, probably not doing anything.
Yeah.
The crowd the whole time
What?
was hot. So I can't agree with this.
But I mean, I'm talking about not that people didn't want to see them in the ring together.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when we break down the actual match, it was not that great of a match.
It probably wasn't. That's what I'm saying. That's where the live thing comes into effect.
And it's got to be. It's got to be the live thing. You were hoping for so much more. It was a overhyped, under-delivered match. Like, the match was better in my head, hyping up till we got to it. And that's really what... That's one of those matches that I always wanted to see. And then when I did, I was like, because that's what bridged my young childhood heroes with the modern day heroes. And then you realize that just don't work.
Yeah.
Like, that just don't work. You got to see how badly the age was really killing Hogan at that point. And you got to see where The Rock was trying to make him look good. And it just turned into a try hard. Like, the stare down was fucking awesome. Yeah. The actual mechanics of the match was shitting the bed. I just, that was the wrestling equivalent of just shitting the bed. As the Undertaker would say, God, that was the shits, you know?
The drizzling shits.
The drizzling shits.
I wonder how much of it was they had an idea for what they wanted to do until they got in the ring and then felt the crowd reaction. And it's like, okay, we got to do something different. Because whatever it is that they might have had planned might have been so antithetical to the reaction.
And it could have been. Like, I mean, you got to think about it. That was the fantasy match for years, right? Like, what would happen if?
Yeah.
And then it happened.
Were there stories that the ending was changed during the match? Or am I
wouldn't doubt it. You got two egos like Dwayne and Hogan in the ring. I wouldn't doubt that ending probably didn't get changed four times.
No, I think he put The Rock over.
I think he did put Rock over for that one, if I'm not mistaken.
I was there. I don't remember, but I remember how fucking live it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And that's the problem. That should be a match where almost every move is stuck in your head, epically great, and none of us remember exactly
across from each other. That's what I remember.
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, and you remember the standoff, because that was an epic fucking standoff, dude. It really was. But the rest of it just kind of.
Number 3 for me. At a 1999 SmackDown taping, D'Lo Brown gave Draws a running power bomb.
Oh man,
that ended his wrestling career.
Yeah.
Yes. So if I could go back and be the producer for that match, or what are they called, I would be like, let's not do the running power bomb. Let's do something else.
And Draws is such a stand-up cool dude.
Well, he doesn't stand up.
Well, not now. Wow. But if you ever listen to interviews with him, no animosity. Him and D'Lo are still they still talk. They still get together. They still.
Draws is dead. But I know what you mean.
All right, he really don't stand up anymore. Don't even sit. That motherfucker can't even roll.
They had a very close relationship after the fact. Yes.
That's kind of what I was trying to say. I mean, okay, you know what? Sorry, rest in peace. I'll sit to the left of that motherfucker one too.
A lot like ECW, but not TNA.
But yeah, I mean, I know D'Lo was actually. It fucking hit him hard for years and years and years. And it was just Draws going, dude, it was no big deal, man. Like, we were supposed to be there. We were supposed to do what we did, you know? And if that doesn't point to the reality of the danger of what these guys do day in and day out, and that wasn't a move D'Lo hadn't done 100 to 200 to 300 times. He knew what he was doing. It just that millimeter of a slip. And that's the razor's edge these guys ride night after night. You can't half-ass what you do. You can't slip up and just have a bad night, because it can end everything you know. And that's where my respect for pro wrestlers come in. That's why I like the show. That's why I go. That's why I support these guys, because these guys are literally putting their bodies on the line more than people realize on a day in and day out scenario.
Sometimes it's from stuff that they didn't want to do to begin with.
Exactly.
You remember Sid Vicious's big boot?
Yeah, off the third rope.
God.
Oh.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change that, but I don't want him to have to experience that either.
What is your number 3, sir?
My number 3 is Vince buying WCW. We've talked
Altogether.
All together.
Yeah,
Wow.
We've talked about this one. I said, I'm going to be coming back at something with a different angle. It's a brilliant move business-wise, but the product suffered after once he had no competition. I don't think that's really debatable. And I would just tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Hey, I get it, but let Eric Bischoff buy it. Let him be on TV against you."
They forced each other to be better.
Yeah.
They really did. And whether they fought for the number 1 spot or not, the wrestling product was better because they went head to head. That's just, I will not come off of that hill.
And I do hold resentment that when we saw that, because I remember watching this live, I'm like, what the fuck is Vince McMahon doing on TNT when the broadcast started? But instantly, when are we getting The Undertaker versus Sting?
Yeah.
Never got it.
Yeah, never got it. And that would have been an epic match had it been done right about the time he purchased it. That would have been the epic match because everyone wanted to know. It was the 2 dark clouds of each organization who could do it, right?
Yeah.
Like who would make that phenom character the best. What?
Just hot take, Undertaker is overrated. I am not the biggest Undertaker fan. So
Well, you guys go ahead and give your top 2 because this is where I exit the whole.
Right behind you. He's my all-time favorite.
no disrespect, just not.
He is easily in my
When I
top
was
5
younger,
best wrestlers ever.
When I was younger,
I'm sorry.
yes, I loved the Undertaker. Just as I grew older and I saw people wrestling, I was like, he's not really doing much, is he?
But the gimmick,
the gimmick,
gimmick
the character
was
no one else could have done it. I'll
As
give
he
him
started
all
getting
of
older,
that.
but before he even, I don't know if you remember, he was in WCW before that. Mean Mark Calloway.
Mark Calloway.
He was one of the most athletic big men ever, and still was. Even when he had that second surge in his career, having the matches against Shawn Michaels at WrestleManias.
Dude, and I'm sorry. That alone, when you talk about from a storytelling aspect, the Paul Bear years, the Kane,
You're naming other people that enhanced him, though.
into the Brothers of Destruction era,
He still had to execute.
like you wouldn't have had any of that if you wouldn't have had the Undertaker, right? Like, where else are you going to have a zombie cowboy dead man on screen and at work? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Undertaker was one of those kind of put out there as unkillable, was relentlessly just going to keep coming back, and there was no one else who was going to play that character like Mark Calloway ever did. And it wasn't about his athleticism; it was about his presence. I have been in an arena where the lights go out,
As have I.
the gong sounds, the steam comes out, the temperature in that arena drops. It is fucking nerve tingling to watch that man walk out on stage. It is unreal.
You watch the product now. Damian Priest. Okay?
Okay.
Are you a fan of Damian Priest?
Yeah.
Okay. Far more athletic than Undertaker.
Yeah.
He could have pulled off that, and I would have been more on board. That's all I'm saying.
No.
Yes. I just opinion. Just opinion.
I think
Okay.
You're not going to like my number 2 either. Just
If
so
you're
you
gonna
know.
if you're gonna hate a gimmick that they did away
I
with,
didn't hate the gimmick.
no. I'm talking about a gimmick that they have done away with that ruined a wrestler's career, and that was the demon for
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. He was never the same wrestler, and if you were going to push a dark gimmick the way he had it, he was set up for so much success in that gimmick. I think it just went up against Bray Wyatt a little too much. I think, or was hovering on that storyline a little too much. But the demon Finn Balor, I think, would have had a better shot at bringing a darker phenom type thing in than Damian Priest.
If we're talking about the same character, Finn Balor's much smaller than Damian Priest is the same build and size and almost has the same look as Undertaker.
Undertaker's got him by what?
He went
1.8.
He went by
feet?
Punishment He went by Punishment Martinez in ROH. Absolutely loved him there. And this is what made me think of it, to be honest. There was a show 3 people in front of me were screaming "Faker, Taker" the whole time.
Faker, Taker.
Faker, Taker, talking about Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of them, so I was getting into it with the fans or whatever. But yeah, so I was just Damian Priest, Undertaker. I could have been more on board with, but I understand everybody has their differences. You like Mark Calloway. Also,
I do think Damian Priest is being wasted.
I
with
don't
the
know
whole
him.
Judgment Day shit.
I don't know him personally, but I have read a lot of shit. He's not a very good person. Again, I don't know him
Damian
personally.
Priest
so-
or
no, Mark Calloway.
Undertaker. Yeah.
So that weighs on my mind and my opinion also. I could be completely being fed false information,
Yeah.
but
I know he had a rough patch. I think now he's more the family guy. He's more. He has mellowed out over the years, but no, back during his like heyday, nah, he was.
I'm not
he
trying
was,
to shit on your favorite. I just
He was one of those rough and tumble fight guy type deals. Yeah, he was kind of there.
It's like
What
one
is-
of his moves, old school. He's old school.
what is your number 2?
My
Because I'm
number
going to piss
2.
him off even more in a minute.
So my number 2 actually kind of is a little bit of a throwback to the previous curtain call conversation, and it's one of those things where once the curtain's ripped back, you can't go back. But for me, number 2 is just the basic concept of kayfabe. There was something about protecting the art and the story that made it more investable for you as a fan. You were more invested in what it was. Now you know it's a character they're playing, so you kind of have to go along with that ride as far as like what you would view a professional actor as or anything else. Mm-hmm. And not that these guys don't act their character out and do their own stunts, because they do every day in and day out. But there's something that got lost when kayfabe was just kind of ripped away, and that was a big thing with the internet and everything else that came through. It was bound to happen at some point. Mm-hmm. But kayfabe disappearing naturally watered down the product to a point that you have to try harder to have the same feelings that you had back when kayfabe was legit. You know, I mean, it makes it a little bit simpler because these guys don't have to be who they are in the ring every time they step outside their door, but it added something to it that we miss now, right? Like, and I think kayfabe is just one of those things where I know eventually it had to go.
Yeah.
I just wish it didn't.
Dirt sheets. I would eliminate dirt sheets.
Dirt sheets.
That, I think that's what really has killed kayfabe and spoilers and that kind of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
But talking about my favorite wrestler for a second, Matt Taven, talking about kayfabe. I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but one of the reasons that I became an ultimate fan of Matt Taven, I was at a Ring of Honor show. He was facing Cody Rhodes in the match. Cody was big time over. He was in Bullet Club at that point. The crowd was cheering for Cody. Taven and the Kingdom had a meet and greet at intermission. I was in second in line for this meet and greet. Vinny and TKO, they were already out there. It was the other part of the Kingdom. Matt Taven comes out, stands up on the desk, and says, "I'm not fucking signing any of your fucking autographs. Y'all Melvins cheered for Cody." Grabbed Vinny and TKO and went to the back. This is money that they literally are getting from meet and greet. He stuck to kayfabe and said, "So that's
awesome, though."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
That's
was like,
fucking
okay,
awesome.
I was already a fan. I'm like, oh, this is my dude.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know half of that crowd was online buying merch that night.
Me included. Yeah.
I mean, but that's what's missing, man.
It-
Like, that's what's missing. Like, I remember Jericho telling stories about how during his heel run, like, he got late to a show and he got trapped in an elevator with like everybody else, and there was a dad and his son, and his son was kind of like whispering at his dad, and he goes, "Hey man, will you take a picture with my kid?" He goes, "I felt the worst I ever felt in my life because I told the kid no."
'cause he was a heel.
He goes, "I was in my heel run and I wasn't gonna break that for nothing." And he goes, "The funny part is," I think he said, like 10 years later, that kid, grown up, was back in line, at one of his events, and he did sign the autograph and took a picture with him. He goes, you told me you wouldn't take a picture with me in an elevator when I was younger. And he was like, I remembered it. And he goes, look, man,
awesome.
he goes, this is kind of how it goes. He goes, I wasn't trying to be a dick to you. He goes, I told everybody at school the next day that you were the biggest dick I ever met. And I was like rooting against you every night. And he goes, I smiled. He's like, so it worked.
So
he
it
goes,
worked,
yeah,
yeah.
it worked, And he was like, I knew that would happen. He goes, but at the same point in time, he goes, I told him, he's like, dude, I felt like shit for 3 days afterwards because you were a kid. I didn't want to do that, but I did what I thought I had to do in that instance, right? He goes, dude, my dad trash talked you for like years. Like, this motherfucker, we went to this show and he refused. He's like, I don't doubt it. I'm sorry. But that's something we don't have. And that's something that when you see it, super cool because it brings you back to what you loved so much about the product, the sport,
Didn't MJF pour a soda pop on a kid's head in the front row?
I don't doubt it, but I was probably one of the people's in the back's kids at that point.
Yeah,
The
probably,
truth,
yeah, probably.
but because you probably get sued for any of that stuff now. So
That was your number 2, the killing of kayfabe, right?
Yep.
All right.
so we have his number 2.
Sorry, Pieper.
Or no,
Yeah, it's my number 2 now.
I was hoping to skip over this so it
Nope,
didn't.
Nope. It's this is really what I rushed for, so I had enough time to talk about this. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to rush even more.
Much like Russo helped to kill WCW, this individual's signing, I think, is something that's not, I'm not going to say kill,
God.
started to affect AEW and cause some rifts in their programming, and ever since then, and it just hasn't been the same. And that was the signing of the cancer of CM Punk in 2021. You're not a CM Punk fan? Or you are? Love you. You're awesome. CM Punk is is trash. He is a cancer to the locker room. Every locker room he's been in, there's been reports, talks, whatever. No, I don't know him personally. I have met him. The one time I met him, he was cool as fuck. He just got off a flight. He was tired as shit. He still did a photo. I paid a lot of money for that photo, so it wasn't free. But just the fact that all of the things that I've heard, and I've heard it from people that are credible in the industry, he's a cancer. And what he did to AEW, I'll never forgive him for. But I still blame Tony Khan for letting it happen. That's it.
Oh my God.
I agree with all that.
I thought you liked CM Punk.
I do.
Okay.
And
It doesn't mean he's not bad for every promotion he goes
Okay.
to. He's
All right.
good for the crowd.
his debut at AEW in Chicago, but huge for their company.
Yep.
I think whatever high he was riding, just it was no longer there while he was still riding it, and he thought I don't know. It just seemed like he was
Right.
kind of running things. Tony Khan probably does. Does he still do those press conferences after big events?
Yes.
That's surprising though. With him not being there, I'm sure that helps.
Yeah.
Because when the one where the infamous one after, was it an Evolution?
When he was champion. He
Well,
was
yeah.
fucking champion, he was doing this bullshit.
By all accounts, it seems he's not really like that much anymore, if at all, in WWE, which probably makes it worse for you. So,
But I mean, the whole pipe bomb promo and everything else that he did. This is a guy who I think he saw some issues, had no idea how to properly handle it for one, but at the same point in time, not only did he not have any idea how to handle it, he handled everything wrong.
yeah.
And I think he's a talented wrestler. I just think he has that Hulk Hogan mentality of you're going to give me what I want, and that's just not how it works.
That's the part doesn't make sense. He was the champion. What more was he supposed to get?
I think he's one of those guys who thought he was at some point was going to be so good they were going to hand him complete creative control over his character and everything else, and they're not going to hand that contract out anymore. That's never going to happen. That happened once, and it backfired so fucking badly that it tanked a company. And it damn near ruined other companies, and it is what it is. No one's handing that out, and I think that Punk kind of had in his mind, I've already put my stripes in there. I have nothing left to prove. I just deserve whatever I want, and that's just not how it works. And he's always over with the crowd, but he's never over with the guys in the back. And it's one of those things where he's asking for respect he has yet to give. And I think that's the biggest problem. And I've heard The Undertaker make that comment a couple times. Like he always came in acting like he deserved more than he really actually deserved. And he requested respect that he had yet to earn. And I think that's how a lot of that falls into the cracks for CM Punk or Paul, whatever you want to call him. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that he is a talented in-ring performer.
Well, I take back everything I said about Undertaker. I was only saying it to warm you up for that. Because I thought there was a different reaction.
Fair enough.
But, I mean, I don't know. I like his entrance. What can I say? He does know how to make an entrance, All right, man. So that brings us to our final, the number one.
No, he has to give his number 2.
God damn. We are so out of sync. I have 10 fucking rounds around this table.
We're never starting with you again.
Never starting with me again. I'm used to either being the last or the second, but never starting with me again. I agree.
Well, my last 2 are both emotional, sentimental picks, so they probably won't drag on for a while. But Hawk's substance abuse issues in real life, I would not allow that to be used as an angle.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Because I believe, having dealt with that myself, I believe that ended up making things worse for him off screen. And who knows? Maybe he would have gotten to enjoy his retirement.
This should never be used as an angle. With anybody.
Alcohol abuse, drug abuse, anything these guys use to cope in real life should never be brought onto the screen. And they've done that to several people. Right. And Hawk, unfortunately, is one of those tragic stories where it just got out of control. And it really kind of tainted the entire legacy of what he had. And that sucks.
Which was huge.
Yeah.
Between him and Animals, run forever, their whole career.
That, and they came back, LOD 2000 or whatever on that Rebirth run. And it was just, iconic guys who unfortunately got ruined by one freaking scenario of bringing personal life into on screen.
Yeah.
So
now,
number one. Okay.
The dragon is preparing to undress.
So the number one for me is going to be that last real sentimental, and this is probably the one that if I could go back, I would want more years. Not only of seeing this guy in the ring, but I would love to have seen how he would have mentored the next generation coming up. Because he truly is, if I had to put wrestlers on a Mount Rushmore, he would be on this Mount Rushmore for me. And the news of his death and everything really, it really hurt me. The fact that the timing of his death gets overshadowed a little bit by the timing of another wrestler's death. But I'm talking about none other than one of the greatest in-ring performers, one of the greatest wrestlers that the crowds were behind, whether he was heel or babyface, no matter what. And I'm talking about none other than Eddie Guerrero. Eddie was one of those guys who could captivate 10,000 people, 100,000 people. It didn't matter what size crowd he was in front of. You got Eddie for Eddie. And Eddie took every persona to the absolute limit he could take it, man. Whether he was coming in on those low riders, lie, cheat, steal, viva la raza, the whole angle between Rey Mysterio, his son, and him, the whole heel angle there. The guy was a performer through and through, and no matter who you talk to in interviews, he was one of the most professional guys in and outside the ring. He cared about the guys in the ring. He cared about them outside the ring. And he loved the sport, and he loved to uplift the talent. I can only imagine if he would have made it to a retirement age, what he could have taught the next group of generation of wrestlers coming up on how to be the way that he could be in that ring.
All right. Well, from one death to another, if there was one thing that I could change, it would be to have Owen Hart never agree to the stunt of being lowered from the rafters to the ring.
Just never agree to bleed the blue blazer, man.
1999 wrestling or WWF pay-per-view Over the Edge
and in your house.
Would not have allowed him to do that. And it looks like Pieper shares this opinion. Am I right?
Damn. Matching on number one.
Yep.
Matching on number one, guys.
Matching on number one, and then you matched my exact wording of not having him ever be the Blue Blazer. 'Cause
Yeah.
that, you know,
That, in my opinion, the Blue Blazer is really what killed off his career entirely. I mean,
I would say it was the fall.
Well, Jesus, dude. The Blue Blazer, I think, was punishment for the Montreal Screwjob, if you want the truth, like, because he stayed, and they just took it out on him.
well, yeah,
And-
because
They turned one of the most phenomenal athletes of their time into a comic gimmick that just, man,
R.I.P.
Owen Hart.
Anybody watch that pay-per-view live when it was on?
I probably was, because at that point in the time I was a huge WWE fan, but I don't recall like seeing that.
Well, yeah, there was the one time that I've been really, didn't even know it at the time, but appreciative for that 7-second delay, because I just remember there being a blip, and the
Okay.
next thing you know is JR and Lawler talking about
Then
something
that would be-
happened.
Okay.
Yeah, my cousin had a VCR tape where he filmed that pay-per-view that he had. So I got to rewatch from the actual pay-per-view that they had, but I didn't see it live. But yeah, I did get to see it. So
All right. Well, that's a somber note. Let's end it with a Marry Fuck Kill, because we skipped one. So
all right, we'll run through this quick.
Yeah.
Because I am getting the. Well, go ahead and you choose and put them behind your back. We'll do it that way.
as you knock
Yay.
cans over and shit.
Don't knock my cans.
Pick left or right again.
Left. Hey, Claire Danes.
Claire Danes.
Damn.
Are you ready to hear these names?
I am.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Claire Danes, Kelly Clarkson, and Jessica Biel.
The cards knew that I needed to rush.
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and tell you, Jessica Biel is obviously getting killed. I mean, no, married. Yes, I did that intentionally, Matthew. Jessica Biel married. What are the other two? I don't even remember what the other two were.
Claire Danes and Kelly Clarkson.
Claire Danes, was she the one in Titanic with Romeo? Or no, not in Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo? That's Claire Danes, right?
I think so.
I think so, okay.
Mod Squad also.
Okay,
kinda-
I'm gonna fuck her, and I'm gonna call her Juliet, and then I'm gonna kill the other one. There you go.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, that's the American Idol singer or whatever. right?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Off with her head. Matthew?
All right. So I will kill Kelly Clarkson just because the singer and the options of the girls she's up against, that's where it's going. I'll take the night with Jessica, but I'm going to marry Claire Danes.
That's right, you will.
I am going to kill Kelly Clarkson because I hated that show. I am going to marry Jessica Biel because I loved the movie she was in with Leatherface. And fuck Claire Danes because her initials are CD.
Okay. So just so you're aware, since you're both marrying Jessica Biel, there's a very likely
Do it.
Golden Gate Bridging
Golden Gate
about
Bridge.
to happen. And that's why I didn't marry her, because I'm not going to have any scenario where there might be a Golden Gate Bridging happening with Nate. I'm just saying.
Oh, just with Nate. With anybody else, though, it's fine. Let's see how it is. All right, we got to wrap this up one more time. Plug your book, please.
On Amazon, available as an ebook for 99 cents or free if you subscribe to Unlimited. Also, paperback and hardback. It's Those That Remain on Amazon.
Those that remain. All right. You can,
Sweet.
You can find us TikTok, the Inappropriates Podcast. No hyphens, underscores, any of that. Then Instagram is the _Inappropriates_podcast. Check our TikTok out, though. That's the more important one. And obviously, listen to our podcast each week.
Anywhere you subscribe to podcasts.
Thank you very, very much, Pieper, for joining us. And thank you, Miss Pieper, for allowing him to join.
It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. And that's all we have for this week. Join us next week. And until then, have a week.
Peace.
So fucking inappropriate.